Hello everyone. You're about to hear a short synopsis of the film Dangerous Duet. Enjoy. We see a frightened man reach a mailbox and drop a letter in with relief. Then he steals a jacket to escape pursuit. But as soon as the man steps onto the road, he's fatally struck by a van. Commander James Hale trains Marines. He's just been given some sad news. His father has died. The driver fled the scene. James is a family man. He lives with his loving wife and 2 children. He reluctantly talks about his late father. He doesn't communicate with his younger brother, Johnny. Johnny's personal life isn't so rosy. His girlfriend, Valentina, has packed her things to get away from the biker.
I'm a grown woman, I'm a bank manager, and you're wasting your time.
Johnny works in the police, although you wouldn't know it at first glance. A man wonders why he's being abandoned. It's probably enough that he forgot it was Valentina's birthday today.
And I want to. Damn.
James's wife decided to tell Johnny about his father's death herself. Incidentally, he thought his dad had long since passed away. Johnny last spoke with his brother 10 years ago. While Potlety was taking a leak, someone held a dagger to his throat. 2 Japanese suddenly appeared, claiming that his father sent him some kind of envelope.
You know what that is? Some kind of crooked mare. This dragon looks like an angry horse.
Johnny fooled the intruders, and then started beating them up. It turned out that a 3rd Yakuza gangster was covering for these 2. Johnny's fist found his face too. The Japanese are yelling and cursing angrily. While fighting them off, Johnny manages to drink a cold beer. At some point, the big guy got tired of the bandits smashing his house, so he dealt with them in the most brutal way possible. He even slit the last one's throat. Johnny hasn't seen his father since childhood, so James doesn't expect his brother to come to his funeral. However, the bald guy was mistaken. Johnny did fly to Hawaii after all.
You my father's brother?
Stepbrother, your father doesn't like me.
You have more hair, a lot more.
The brothers began to sort things out before even burying their father.
You've gotten old, and you've gotten fat. I'll lose weight, and you'll remain a fart.
Governor Peter Mahoya gave a speech. After the farewell ceremony, Proholter was scattered at sea. The brothers dislike each other, since their father left James's mother and started a new family with Johnny's mother. During dinner, Johnny stunned the family with the announcement that it was a murder, not an ordinary car accident. The brothers went outside to talk. James thinks the younger one is just showing off and drawing attention to himself. You haven't found your mother's killer? Suddenly you think someone killed your father too. Upset, Johnny went to the bar. There, he was greeted by a fat Hawaiian who works for Mr. K, the head of the local crime syndicate. The policeman was drugged, passed out, and woke up chained to a pole.
You killed my mother. Maybe not.
Mr. K suggests that Johnny get home as soon as possible. He's already offended a lot of his guys. Mr. K cut a K-shaped wound into Johnny's neck and gave him a week to get off the island. James asked the detective to show him his father's case file. It's all a bit suspicious. There are no witnesses. The only camera wasn't working. The policeman asked the brothers not to interfere, saying it's too dangerous. But you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone more dangerous here than Johnny and James Hale. James found a check with some words written on it in his father's wallet. At the same time, Johnny broke into Walter's apartment and started rummaging through his things. His father worked as a private detective. Suddenly, some bald guy broke in. Johnny hoped to stop him, but this guy turned out to be a skilled parkour runner. You, Fat Jack Peachin. The fat guy was sure he had escaped, but a powerful blow to the head landed the fugitive on the pavement. Pika claimed that the late Walter was like a father to him. The guy worked for the detective and carried out various errands for him. Well, now Pika will work for Johnny. James examined the place where his father was hit and found another video camera nearby. Johnny noticed a surfboard, since his father didn't surf. Hidden inside were some plans with the governor's seal. Makoya was just addressing his constituents. My cousin doesn't work for a politician, so she can help figure out what those plans are. James burst into his father's office and broke Pika's nose again.
Who the hell is Uncle Fester?
I have alopecia. James got the crime scene footage. The van driver didn't even bother to slow down. Pika was tasked with finding every similar vehicle in the city. James still thinks it was a routine accident. But then the Japanese rammed his car and opened fire on the brothers. Johnny jumped out of the car while it was moving. The Yakuza's car was armored, so it was unclear how to fight them. Johnny had to simply run away. His brother climbed onto the pickup and emptied his entire clip into the windshield. It didn't help. But Johnny managed to hit a weak spot and blew up the car along with the bandits. However, his brother's car also went up in flames. Nani discovered that they were planning to build a casino on the island. But how is that possible? Gambling is illegal here, after all. Developer Marcus Rubescio. Apparently, the brothers should talk to him. He's hosting a charity dinner tomorrow. Johnny has his brother's fancy motorcycle, but he'll have to curb his appetite and ride a 1940s wreck. The brothers arrived at the proposed construction site. A small community of indigenous people lives there. I wonder, is the governor planning to disperse this settlement? Pika called. The cops found a blue van. It was sunk in the ocean along with an accountant who worked in the governor's office. It was this van that hit Walter. The trio pretended to be catering company employees and infiltrated the charity dinner. It turned out the van was rented by some Yakuza guys. They have quite a few businesses on the island. Johnny approached a hottie. The girl tensed up when she learned his last name. It turns out Monica knew Walter, but she didn't know he was dead. She hired a detective to dig into her husband's affairs. Quote,
"And who is your husband?" Quote.
I'm Monica Robichaux.
"So you're Marcus Robichaux's wife." Quote.
She and Robichaux are getting a divorce, and Monica fears for her life. The two agreed to meet and talk in a secluded place. Meanwhile, James struck up a conversation with a fashionable Japanese man about a blue van. Nakamura hinted unequivocally that they had killed his father. He and Johnny were identified and brought to Mr. Robichaux. The rich man lied that he had hired Walter to keep an eye on his wife. He had no other dealings with their father. On the table, besides a real grenade, lay 2 severed fingers. Mr. Robichaux asked the brothers to leave. They had enough of snooping around. The next day, Monica was thrown out of the window of the hotel room where they had agreed to meet Johnny. The enraged Hawaiian wanted to talk to Mr. Robichaux again and brutally destroyed his security detail. True, he couldn't handle them all. Some were armed with tasers. And the Fat Gion sign. Oh, yeah. Nice dick. Johnny accused Robichaux of killing his father and his wife. The millionaire called the police, and Johnny was thrown behind bars. The governor came to his cell. He told the man, "Don't look for trouble. The cops will sort everything out." The politician accused Walter of ruining his own life. His sons are now at risk too. When Johnny was released, he passed James. James caught up with his brother, and a fight broke out between them. A brutal fight with bites and kicks to the balls. James beat the younger brother and threw him into a hole. Then he threw him gracefully onto the asphalt and added a couple of side steps. He beat Johnny until he finally died. The younger brother is upset with James because his brother didn't help him when his mother was killed. James admitted that he would have acted differently now.
"I never found out who killed my mother. Now someone has killed my father."
Johnny admitted that for an old man, his little brother hits extremely hard. Valentina called Johnny and said that he had received a letter from Hawaii. Inside was some kind of flash drive. The bearded man persuaded the woman to bring it personally. It was too valuable. Johnny is very nervous before the meeting.
"Hello, Valentina, you."
And I are not a couple. I'm going to the beach for 1 day, and then home.
Johnny took the flash drive and gave it to the Pike. It turned out that opening it wouldn't be easy. This flash drive is the key to a bank account. But to hack it, you need to enter 12 words that only the owner knows. By the way, James has a list of words that their father wrote down on a check. Suddenly, a helicopter flying past opened fire on the car. Valentina took the wheel so the brothers could shoot back. The helicopters were real badasses. They were smashing every car in sight. Then, some shooters appeared on a motorcycle. Valentina braked sharply to knock the ninjas down. However, they latched onto the car and began to force their way inside. Valia pinned one of them against the barrier and severed his arm. The second drone's head was scraped against the asphalt and thrown under the wheels of cars, but there was still a helicopter left. Fat John Cena was firing at them. James took careful aim and blew out the shooter's brains. He finished off the pilot, but the helicopter seemed to go berserk and continued to pursue the car until it exploded. Finally, our heroes could breathe a sigh of relief. Pika had just hacked the account. Valentina glanced at the screen and explained that $12 million had been deposited into a certain person's bank account. That person was Peter Maho, the island's governor. Robichaud bought the governor to legalize gambling here. He hired Yakuza gangsters to enforce the law. Apparently, the murdered accountant was their father's informant. He was the one who gave Alter the flash drive. Unfortunately, Nani knew about her boss's crimes and showed the governor the casino plans. The company thought the worst was over, but then James called his wife. For some reason, she had left her phone at home. James found his terrified children in the bathroom and learned that the gangsters had kidnapped Layla. Robichaud called and showed them the prisoner. They had captured not only Layla, but also their sister, Nani. The businessman would exchange the flash drive for the woman. James opened the door to a secret room. He keeps an impressive arsenal of weapons there. The brothers armed themselves with rifles, pistols, and shotguns.
He won't change, and neither will we.
The brothers took out the guards and began advancing on the millionaire's mansion. They operate quietly, using knives and pistols with silencers. They managed to attract a large group of guards by activating the car alarm. Johnny killed them all in a matter of seconds. The bandit in the house was lucky. It had armored double-glazed windows. However, the idiot opened a window, and the next bullet hit him in the head. The brothers turned off the lights to lure the still-living enemies out of hiding. The security chief saw a pile of corpses and managed to report the attack before he was pierced through the throat. The Americans were gone. But there were still some rabid Japanese left at the border. Hooray! The crowd gathered in a narrow corridor. One big guy, James, took them all out without any problems. He didn't even leave anyone behind for his brother. They found the women and untied them. Robichaud didn't wait until the last minute and escaped through a secret passage. The last Yakuza, Nakamura, remained to cover him. James dealt with the Japanese while Johnny caught up with Robichaud as he was about to escape on a boat. It turned out the fish-ass was skilled in martial arts. So Johnny fared much worse than his older brother. After a beating, the businessman stabbed him in the shoulder with a hook. James broke the Yakuza and disemboweled him with his sword. He ran to the dock to help the younger brother. Just in time, because Robichaud had left Johnny's gun. But the bearded man dealt with it himself. He grabbed a grenade and even pulled the pin. True, Robichaud managed to pump several bullets into Johnny before the powerful explosion blew him to pieces. The wounded Johnny sank to the bottom, but fortunately, his older brother was already nearby and pulled him ashore. Soon, the police arrested the governor on charges of conspiracy to commit murder. Mahora joined the Hale family. After all, he had done more for them than Walter, their biological father. But they simply turned their backs on the dirty politician. Later, the syndicate leader approached Johnny. All gambling on the island was handled by his organization. So, the brothers had eliminated all his competitors, doing his dirty work. In exchange, the old man handed Johnny a piece of paper with the name of the man who killed his mother. However, Johnny decided to do nothing about it and stay on the island with his family. Especially since they had $12 million from Governor Mahoy's bank account.